everybody, welcome to Wild Boy Movies, the place to talk movies, and today we're going to be reviewing K-Pop Demon Hunters, what's currently the #1 movie on Netflix right now as of me recording this video. Right now I'm going to have some information up on screen for you to read, like director, runtime, and PIA rating. All of that will be up on screen for you to read right now. But be sure to hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and comment down below your thoughts on K-Pop Demon Hunters. But without further ado, let's get right into the pros. Alright, so this was even just a movie that I just checked out just because I have been spammed with so much content from that movie on my TikTok For You page. Like, no joke, I'd be like scrolling on TikTok, looking at like movie related memes or some random movie news, and then out of nowhere, K-Pop Demon Hunters. Random content, Huntrix. K-Pop Demon Hunters. In fact, one time I got like 5 Demon Hunters memes in a row, and now ever since I've seen the movie and I've been liking some of the posts of that movie, it's been non-stop of that. And yeah, it's because this movie is just so good, and I do understand the hype behind the movie. I mean, no wonder why the movie has like a high 90 score on Rotten Tomatoes in terms of like the critics, because this movie is just so good and enjoyable. I mean, for starters, the animation in here is something that is really good in here. Now, it may look like your stereotypical 3D animated movie on the surface, but there are times in this movie, mainly towards some of the characters' facial expressions, where it gives us kind of like an anime vibe to it, and I do really like it because it differentiates itself from other 3D animated movies. And this is Sony Pictures Animation we're talking about, and they've been doing a really good job with mixing up their animation styles for various different movies. I mean, you have the Spider-Verse trilogy, which has amazing animation that really is revolutionary, to where something we got like TMNT Mutant Mayhem is kind of emulated that style. You also have an upcoming movie that is literally Sony Animation's next movie, Fixed, where it's a 2D animated movie, the first for Sony Pictures Animation. And I just love how this studio, Sony Animation, is just mixing up their animation styles for every different project. And I do really like it because it differentiates itself from your other movies that you have made before. And I like how they didn't really stick to an old style. From something like the Claudia Perchance Meatballs movie, they made it different and their own for this particular movie. Like during like the final battle of the movie where the Soldier Boys are performing Your Idol, like that sequence just visually looks so good. Like the colors are just looking good. It really reminds me of the scene where the phone enemy from the Mitchell vs. Machines is in like a beautifully colored room. This is one of the things that made me really wish that this movie ended up getting a theatrical release instead of going straight to Netflix. I also enjoyed the group of main characters that we got in this movie, Huntrix, Rumi, Mira, and Zoe. I really like those characters both as individual characters and as an entire group, who is like this K-pop group who is tasked to protect the world by enforcing something called the Hun Moon against demons. I really like those characters in the movie. My favorite Huntrix might be either Rumi or Zoe, but it's hard to choose between those two characters. And then you also got the villains of the movie, the Soldier Boys, a demon boy band group who, yeah, I think are good villains of wanting to steal Huntrix fans, to steal their souls. And it's unbelievable that the Soldier Boys are right now #1 or high up on US Spotify charts, which is just insane, because if the Soldier Boys are real, then we are doomed indeed. In fact, honestly, the Soldier Boys are the next Dazzlings, like straight up. Like, let's go ahead and bring back the Battle of the Bands so that we can have a battle between the Soldier Boys and the Dazzlings and see who comes out as the victor. I'm not even kidding there. And arguably, one of the best characters of this movie isn't even a member of the Huntrix band or the Soldier Boys band. It's the manager of the Huntrix, Bobby, Ken Jeong's character, because dude, that dude would be an amazing manager if I was a musician, but I'm not a musician. I want to be a movie director. But his character was just so fun to watch on screen, and there were a bunch of other side characters in this movie that were also fun to watch. Yeah, like this movie did a pretty good job with the characters in here. Like they did a really good job on that part, as well as the voice acting as well. The action sequences in this movie as well are also pretty well done in this movie. I do like the action between the Huntrix band and also the demons in here. I really like what they were able to do in this movie, and they were pretty well choreographed. And part of me wishes that this movie ended up being a PG-13 movie, because yeah, some of these action sequences feel like that they belong in a PG-13 setting. Like this sequence from like the bathhouse, to me just honestly screams like that. It feels like it should be PG-13, but they're holding back to keep a PG rating. Nothing against that, but it's just my personal preference. But still, the action in here was well done. But the last thing I'm gonna go ahead and praise with this movie is the soundtrack, because I'm not even that big of a listener of K-pop music. Really, the music I listen to are like 21 Pilots, Ice Nine Kills, the Has Been Hotel soundtrack, or the Equestria Girls soundtrack, or MLP to an extent. But the soundtrack here for K-pop Demon Hunters are so good. Like, there isn't really a bad song at all in this movie. My least favorite would have to be Soda Pop from the Soldier Boys. In fact, on screen right now is a ranking of the songs in K-pop Demon Hunters, from my least favorite at the bottom to my favorite being at the top. But yeah, the soundtrack in here is pretty good, and that's coming from someone who does not listen to K-pop really at all. Like, they did a really good job with the soundtrack for this movie. But really, overall, that is all a lot of positive things I can say about this movie. This is genuinely such a great movie that I think, in my opinion, is up there in my top 5 favorite movies from Sony Pictures Animation. I do think that this movie is the next The Mitchells vs. the Machines, where I think it's just as good as that movie. So for my scorecard, I'm gonna give K-pop Demon Hunters 5 stars, with the score out of 10 being 10 out of 10, with the percentage being 100%, with a grade of A+, with my final verdict being one of Sony Animation's greatest movies ever. But that was my review for K-pop Demon Hunters. I want to hear from you guys. What are you guys' thoughts on this movie? Go ahead and leave that down in the comments section, and while you're at it, be sure to hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you in the next video, and have a great day.